welcome to a Face for Radio podcast. I'm Zahra, your host, and I'm so excited to start this skincare and self-care journey with you. My goal is to share a wide range of experiences and opinions in the hopes to help you cut through the noise of today's oversaturated beauty world and increase our collective understanding of the industry and the products we buy. For so long, I've been a skincare enthusiast and I'm constantly looking for the next great thing to try. But over the years, I have realized just how much I rely on my friends' recommendations, and that's where I got this idea. I don't aim to push products or practices on you because more than anything, I want to emphasize that we are all unique in our genetic makeup and our needs, but I hope that the diverse range of stories you hear from this podcast will help you become a more educated, engaged consumer. And honestly, it is really fun for me to spend my time talking to people about their beauty routines, so I guess you could say it's a little bit self-indulgent. This project kicks off today with one of my oldest friends, Lindsey. I have known Lindsey since the 6th grade, so we have seen each other through the days of using toothpaste as pimple cream, yikes, and have come out stronger on the other side. Now, Lindsey swears by the ordinary peeling solution, better known as the chemical peel. Yep, the one that looks like blood, you got it. As we caught up, I was excited to hear about the glow-ups in her skincare routine, and I hope you find it useful as you figure out what works best for your own skin. Enjoy!
Yeah, well, welcome. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. So I guess my first question for everyone has always just been, do you remember the first product you ever used as a skincare routine?
Yeah, I think everyone does, their first moment that they, realized that they either wanted to work on their skin. For me, it was in middle school. I was in 6th grade, I remember, and I had one acne dot that didn't go away, and it was the first sign that I was uh-oh, this is going downhill quickly. So shortly after, my acne got really bad in middle school, which was definitely not the time. I had just started at Holton, and it was, I don't know, it was just felt so new, and to have bad skin at that time when you're already going through a lot of changes and you're in middle school, it was so tough. So I went to go see a dermatologist, and she I wasn't on medication or anything like that, but she prescribed this really intense skin cream called Tazarac, which I think is still a really big, pretty popular skin cream, but it's very drying. So at the time I found it to be very effective, but because I have combination dry skin, there would be times where I would be so self-conscious about one particular spot that I would overload my face with that cream, and then it would totally dry stuff out, and I would look like I had just come from a sunburn because my face was peeling so bad. So it was definitely hard at first when you start going through that to figure out what's going to work for your skin or not.
Yeah. I love that whenever I ask, people always know. They're like, oh, I know when I started to care about my skin.
Oh my gosh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you knew that early on that you had combination dry skin.
Yeah, I learned that pretty early because there were parts of my skin, my cheeks were combination. So it was some only around here was oily, and then my forehead, my the sides of my face, and particularly down by my jaw have remained super, super dry.
Yeah. So from there to today, talk to me about your skin journey and how you've kind of evolved over.
Oh my gosh. I feel everyone's skin journey is constantly changing and figuring out what's going to work for you. And especially because, my skin is so different than, I feel what works for my skin now is different than what works for my skin in middle school. I would say I stuck with Tazarac for a long time, probably through the rest of high school. That was the main solution I found. And I vaguely remember talking to you about this in middle school, but I went through the proactive stage. I went through, those 3-step Neutrogena skin kits that you would get at Giant, and just trying it and being this will make my skin better. And it never seemed to. I remember trying, this was really, really bad. And please, if anybody's watching this, do not do this. But I remember trying Purell on one zit that was so bad. It was I was so desperate to do anything. When I got to college, I feel pretty lucky. For the most part, my skin kind of leveled out around college. And so for most of college, the most I was doing was moisturizing. And I really loved the Drunk Elephant brand for a long time. And they have one moisturizer that's just, I think it's the Aqua Purifier or something like that. But that one it provided all of the moisturization that I needed for my skin at the time. And that kept me pretty steady throughout college without, breakouts every once in a while, and but nothing too serious. But recently in my early 20s, ever since I graduated college, I felt my skin has changed a lot since leaving school, and I've been trying to figure out why that is, and in doing a lot of research, particularly in quarantine. I'm finding out that it's actually really common for your skin to kind of change in your early 20s and kind of go through another adjustment period. And so it's been really fun. Now that I have all this free time, I've been doing a lot of testing, because I think the biggest issues that have come from my acne journey have been a lot of scarring too. And on like tan skin, it's not like redness or like, it's these dark spots that yeah, exactly. I have one on my cheek right now I'm really struggling with, and it's hard to kind of figure out what'll help with that, because even after the acne's gone, you're kind of left with this, your face doesn't look clear because you have the remnants of everything that you had previously dealt with. So for me, I think the last kind of year or two, my main concern every time I go get a facial is asking, what can I do to deal with the spots? And I've asked so many estheticians for different advice, and I feel like every single person you ask has some different solution that's going to work for you. So I've tried everything from facial oils to vitamin C serums are supposed to be really good. And as of late, the thing that I've found that's helped me the most with that, because I would say the scarring spots are my biggest concern, is the Ordinary chemical peel has really, really helped me kind of even out those spots and kind of minimize them. So I've been really into this. I found it 3 weeks ago, and I've noticed a difference that quickly.
Wow.
Which is insane. But I feel kind of crazy even saying that, but I don't know what else it is, because I thought that the first 7 weeks of quarantine, I was like, I'm not wearing makeup so my skin will clear up, and it did the exact opposite. My skin was, I don't know if it was stress, but my skin was everywhere. And the last 3 weeks I've been using this peel, and it's the first thing that's calmed it down. It's the first thing where I've seen actual results in kind of fading those dark spots that I've been dealing with for, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I get new dark spots every once in a while, or not every once in a while, like all the time. So I've felt like this has kind of been a good buffer for a lot of that.
So how did you find this?
How many BuzzFeed articles have I read, or YouTube videos? I have been watching so many YouTube videos and reading like almost every blog online about people's skincare journeys. And I've seen a lot of people talk about how good the Ordinary brand is. And I wasn't ready to, buy like a full-fledged, set of skincare products, but this peeling solution is the one that I've seen the most. And I watched a lot of YouTube videos online before I bought it. And I read a lot of reviews on the Sephora website, on Amazon. I kept Googling this product, like literally for 5 days. I was Googling it. It's only $12. I mean, I've done more research into more expensive products, but for whatever reason, I was really drawn to it. So I just ordered it on Amazon and decided to start using it.
So can you hold it up so we can, this is the red one, right? So it kind of looks like blood.
The red one. Yeah, it does. It's a little creepy sometimes when I put it on my skin.
Are you on TikTok?
Yes.
Okay, so I have seen this like all over TikTok, but I feel like most people on TikTok are like really young. So yeah. I was just surprised because it's like a pretty strong exfoliant, I think. From what I've read, it's like 20 or 30%.
Yeah, I don't think 13-year-olds need to be using this. Yeah. I feel like that's a lot for 13-year-olds. But I will say, as somebody who's in her early 20s who's been dealing with my skin for 10 years, this is a fun find. And I feel like it's not, I feel like my skin was ready for this solution.
So basically you were reading reviews, but this is the one that stuck out in terms of like relative to like other chemical peels or exfoliants.
Yeah, I would say there's two things about this product that kind of caught my eye. I think the first was definitely just how positive the reviews were. And I think the second is affordability. And I really like that this is an accessible solution that's effective for a lot of different skin types. And the results online, I mean, obviously everybody's skin's different but by and large, people are really obsessed with this product. And I love how affordable it is and how it just makes having even skin and minimized pores and faded dark spots more accessible to people like me who've tried everything and spent, some products I bought when I was really trying to figure out how to get rid of these spots. I've spent, upwards of $200, $300 on certain products that people tell you need to get to clear skin. And what I like about this is that you don't necessarily have to be spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars to feel confident about your face.
Yeah. So how are you using it? Like how often? Where does it fit in your routine?
Yeah, so because I have drier skin, I think what's recommended for this product is that you use it twice a week. I use it Sunday nights as I take a bath and I clean my skin, facial cleanser, and I dry my face, and I do it for exactly 10 minutes. I try not to do it any longer because I think it is on the drying side. And I also don't want to like overload my face with a peel. So I do it on Sunday nights, just in my routine. And I'll clean my skin with a very gentle cleanser beforehand, dry my face off, use the peel, and then I will either follow it up with a vitamin C serum or just a kind of moisturizer, a gentle moisturizer too. Nothing with like, I don't tend to use the Drunk Elephant moisturizer after it. I use this brand called Youth to the People. They have an adaptogen moisturizer. I really like their moisturizer. I find it to just be kind of neutral, but very deep moisturizing. So I'll either do one of those and then just call it a night on my skincare routine. And then I think for the rest of the week, I kind of will play around with different cleansers and moisturizers, but Sunday is my peel day to not over dry my skin throughout the week.
Yeah, I love that. I'm the same way. I'm like, I have a routine of like, I use this on this day and this on this day. And I know that's, so does it look red when you put it on your face?
Yeah, I definitely try to not wear white when I use it because it's definitely something I'm worried about, like getting stains on or something. But yeah, and you don't need that many drops. I tend to just do like 2 drops on my forehead, 1 per cheek, 1 on my chin and 1 on my nose, and then just kind of spread it out. That is honestly probably too much product too. You don't need a ton of it because it is so strong that you just want to put like a few drops and just kind of spread it out evenly across your face and just let it sit. And it'll kind of dry for over the course of 10 minutes. And then I wash it off with like kind of room temperature water.
Does it feel like, your skin kind of burn when it's on or not really?
I wouldn't say burn. There's some tingling in certain spots, probably like my more sensitive spots. For me, it's like around my chin, but I've never had any burning issues. Anything beyond a tingle I've never really felt.
Nice. So if you were going to rate this like out of 10, do you have like kind of a rating? Or is it like, one of your like would you rank it in like your top 5 products right now or something?
It's definitely in my top 5 products. I would probably give it like a 9 out of 10. The only 1 point missing because my skin is just on the drier end and I can't use it as frequently. But I think in terms of affordability, it's awesome. And I think in terms of effectiveness, it's been really great for my skin.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting because I think any kind of product like this tends to be a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
And so it's really great to see something like this is so effective. And when I was reading about it, it did say like combination was kind of like the driest end, and then it said like normal to oily. So I was really curious because I definitely have drier skin. So I was hesitant to try it because I don't really want to aggravate my skin any more than I have already.
That's definitely why I only use it once a week, is because my skin is on the drier end. And so I would say probably 6 days a week trying to fight the dryness, and then the last day trying to use this to help me fight, larger pores and the acne spots that I have.
So you think does it make your pores? Do you notice like a difference in like pore size?
I would say so. In my like cheek area and then on my nose for sure. I've definitely noticed a difference.
Wow. Okay. That's exactly where I need something. So that's good to know.
Yeah. It's been really helpful.
Yeah. Has it incentivized you to try some of the other products from The Ordinary, or do you not feel like?
No, I actually am super interested in trying other products, particularly because we were talking about TikTok, and I keep seeing a lot of people on TikTok are super into using these products along with the CeraVe products. And so I've been thinking about, kind of like, I think I've seen like multiple TikToks talking about using the CeraVe cleanser and then using Ordinary products alongside of it. And so I've been thinking about doing that. I haven't pulled the trigger yet because I just want to make sure it's not gonna, mess with the dryness of my skin, and making sure every single product would be effective for me. But I'm definitely interested in using other ones.
Yeah. I have been using CeraVe cleanser since a long time. I think when I went to a dermatologist early on, like high school or early college, like I have very dry skin and I have very sensitive skin. And I never really understood that you could have like tan or like non-white skin and have sensitive skin. I thought it was like the paler you are, like you're sensitive.
Yeah, for sure.
So I never understood that. And so when I learned that, that's what they told me is like use Cetaphil, use CeraVe. And I've been using it ever since. And I, as you know, like love to buy as much skincare as I can find. But I always come back to that CeraVe cleanser because it's just like the best thing, and it's creamy and it doesn't dry out your skin, but it really cleans you. So yeah, that's a good combo.
Okay, good to know, because I'm definitely interested in doing those too, but I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, no, I love that. I get them at Target because they're always on sale. So, and Target I feel like is the new Amazon Prime because anything I order like comes the next day. these days.
I completely agree. I ordered something literally last week and was like, pick up within 2 hours. And I went to pick up dinner for my family that night and then just swooped through Target and like picked up I ordered t-shirts, but still.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So in addition to like this product, is there anything you've been trying lately that you've also like noticed a difference, or, is this kind of your main change to your skincare routine?
I'm trying to think. So I mentioned the brand Youth to the People, and I am just such a fan of all of their products because exactly like you were saying, I never considered my skin to be sensitive because I just felt like, there's melanin in it. Like, it's got to be tough. I can withstand the sun. So like, why can't I withstand, like normal skincare products? But just because I will also say, I don't think my skin is as sensitive as it could be, but that doesn't mean I need to be trying all these really harsh products on it just to like test its strength. And so what I like about Youth to the People is I may not necessarily need all these gentle products, but they're vegan, they're cruelty-free, and they're just extremely, extremely gentle on my skin, which I love. So they have this kale cleanser that I'm obsessed with. I use it every single morning, every single night, and that's also made a really big difference for me. And then I'm really a big fan of, they have a kombucha toner that I use twice a week that I like. They have the adaptogen moisturizer, and they also have a night mask that I use pretty often. And I always wake up feeling like my skin was just like drenched in moisturization, which is super nice.
Wow. Wait, so which one is that?
They have the overnight mask. It's yellow. Oh my gosh. What is the name of it? I'm going to have to look it up. I just ran out of it. Otherwise, I would show you the bottle, but it's on my list of things to order.
But I love that because I'm always looking for something overnight that will really hydrate. Because there's certain ones I use like on weekend nights where I'm like, oh, I know I'm going to feel more dehydrated. And then I wake up and I'm like, okay, my skin didn't break out. I feel like completely hydrated and moisturized.
Yeah.
So I love products like that.
It's called the Superberry Hydrate and Glow Dream Mask. Wow. And I only use like maybe just a smidge more than a pea size, and my skin, I wake up and I'm like, this is just not my face. Like, it just feels so good and it's effective. So usually I'll do like, before I go to bed, I do their cleanser, their moisturizer, and then I'll do the mask on top of it, and then I wake up and I just feel like my face is soft.
I've never thought to do moisturizer and then like a sleep mask. I always use that instead. That's such a good tip.
I don't know. I just have been doing it lately just to like double up on the moisturization, and I just figure they're from the same brand. Like, they probably are working together. I don't know if there's any logic in that, but that's what I've been doing, and it's been working lately.
Okay, that's fun. I'm going to try that this weekend and see if I notice a difference.
Yeah, let me know.
I love that. So my initial thought here was I wanted to talk about like kind of like different trends in skincare, but I feel like now I've just been asking like, what would you recommend to people who are like trying to get more into self-care and skincare during quarantine over the next however many months this is going to go on?
Yeah, I think for better or for worse, I think this is a great time to, play with different, skincare options and, go through trial and error and find what works for you. Because, I mean, for better or for worse, I'm not seeing anybody where I'm, I feel like this is a great opportunity. I'm not going to work every single day. I'm not caking makeup onto my face. This is a great time to get to know what my skin, is really like without, the day-to-day of makeup and activities. And my skin this is how it is, and figuring out what's going to be effective for it. I just feel like this is the best time to play around, try different products. And, maybe like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I just feel like this is a great time to play around and just figure out what works for you and get to know your skin without, all those harsh makeup products that we're putting on it for most of the time. So I think my biggest advice is just order that thing on Amazon that you're kind of intrigued by and just pull the trigger and play with it. And if it doesn't work, then no love lost because you're not seeing anybody. So
when you do get a new product, do you kind of alter your routine to like see if it like how it impacts your skin, or do you just like throw it in?
It depends on what it is. I would say like moisturizers, I'd probably just throw it in because I'm doing them so often anyway. And I also do believe that if you do order a new product, you're not going to see the consistent results unless you try it a few times. Because your skin, like anything else, needs time to adapt. It's like a workout routine, like you're not going to see the results of a workout routine until you do it, with consistency. And so if there's a product I feel really passionately about that I think could be effective for me, I put it into my skincare routine with a lot of consistency, knowing that I'm not going to see results on the first day that I try it, which I think is important to keep in mind. So I think for, things like The Ordinary, the peeling solution, I only had to implement it on a Sunday night, and it wasn't this huge disruption to my routine. For other different products that I try to be consistent about implementing them in place of other things. For a few, I'll probably give it 10 days probably, to see if it is effective. And if I'm not noticing a change, or I don't like the way that it worked as much as the other product I was using before, I'll kind of go back to it. But I do think it's important you're not going to see results from a product that you wanted to try within, 24 hours of trying it.
That's such interesting. 10 days is a good amount of time.
So yeah, I think so. I think it's a good period to either see the results you were hoping for or know that you're not going to get them.
Yeah. Yeah, because one esthetician once told me, like, for 3 days, put nothing else on your skin. But obviously for something like The Ordinary product, you're not going to use it like 3 days in a row with nothing else. So
yeah.
It's good, I think, to hear like when people like take more time and like know like kind of their time frame.
Yeah. Well, especially with this product too, it's like you're exactly right. I'm not putting this on my skin every single day because I don't want to dry it out. So I've had to give it like 3 separate Sundays of use to determine whether or not I'm actually seeing results from it. And I really do think that I am, because I think as I've gone through the week, I've noticed a difference of my skin, that Friday compared to where it was that Sunday. And doing it again and seeing continuous improvement, I do think has been indicative of its effectiveness.
Yeah. One thing I want to ask you, because you touched on it earlier, is like how you got to dermatologist since pretty early on. You get a lot of facials. Do you have an opinion? Like, do you feel like you've had more success like going to an esthetician or dermatologist? Have you like gotten good advice from one versus the other?
That's a good question. I've never really thought about it. I like my dermatologist a lot. But like, I think I've had the same experience with the dermatologist as I have with estheticians, where they have a lot of experience to back up their suggestions. But at the end of the day, your skin more than the hour that they're going to spend with your skin. And so trial and error is going to be important no matter which one is recommending products to you. And only you can determine the effectiveness of whatever their recommendations are after doing them for, a consecutive few days. So that's a good question. I don't know that I could definitively say one has been better than the other. But I do know that I've gotten some good recommendations from both, and I've gotten some not so effective recommendations from both. And I don't know, it's just figuring out what works for me at that point.
That's a really good point, because I think whether it's like a viral product on TikTok or, even reading reviews, I think my goal with this is to really be like, this is one person's story. This is their skin type. This is how it worked. And not like you have to have this product, because everyone doesn't have to have every single product.
I know.
So I think that's really an important point to remember. Like, even if it's a professional, it's like they can't get inside your skin.
Yeah. And I think like things like TikTok, I'm always intrigued when I see a new product on TikTok, but I also have to remind myself, like, it's a great marketing strategy to put this product on TikTok, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be effective for me. So that's why I try to do a lot of research about something before I buy it, is because if I see it on TikTok and I'm like, oh my God, this is going to solve all my skincare problems, I want to look online first and be like, okay, has anyone else had a reaction to this? I try and do a little digging to see if anybody's leaving reviews who has skin like mine, which is actually what I really like about the Sephora website, is that a lot of the skincare product reviews, they'll list their skin type so you can see how effective it would be for you. But yeah, I don't know.
That's what I was going to ask, because I'm the same way. Like, I go on Sephora and I like filter for like medium skin, like sensitive, whatever. And to get as close as possible. Cause like, someone who has like oily, really pale skin may not have the same reaction as I will.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's interesting. I will send you an article that I read once about how, like posting on TikTok has like taken like, there was like a brand they were profiling, and how like basically like this girl posted like one like off the cuff TikTok, and it just like sold out their entire inventory.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. So TikTok, I'm hesitant, but I love it. But anyway.
I'm the same way. I like save all these videos. But okay, so it's such like a trap, because that's what you asked about dermatologist versus esthetician. Like half the YouTube videos I watch are like, dermatologist reacts, like Kourtney Kardashian skincare routine, or like, you know what I mean? And then I'm like looking at this and I'm like, okay, the dermatologist said what she did is bad, but the esthetician said like what she did. So it's so different. Like opinions on skincare and what's effective are just, they can just be so different from person to person.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Kourtney Kardashian's also like such a unique case because if you see pictures of her and Kendall Jenner, like they look the same age, and Kourtney is like almost double her age. So
100%. But then some of the stuff Kourtney does, I'm like, are you promoting this product because it's a pooch product, or is like you actually rubbing like sandstone on your skin gonna work? I don't know. I just made that up. Like, it's hard to figure it out.
Yeah, and you know, I'm no hate, but you just don't know what else they're doing besides using this. May be her true skincare routine, but you know, they also go to like 7 different doctors for their skin. I don't know what's happening. But.
Exactly. And that's what I like about The Ordinary, is that I feel like I have an effective, affordable solution instead of looking at all these YouTube videos. I go down that rabbit hole. Like, I love watching all these celebrities do their like Vogue nightly skincare routine. But then I'll look and I'll be like, this product is literally $340. Like, that's not in my skincare budget this month. Like, I was hoping to buy a few workout sets instead. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's not always so easy.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. I those are so fun to watch, but it's also like, one, people get gifted a lot of stuff. 2, like people are, you just don't know. Like there's so many factors. So I think like that, I'm the same way. Like even for like YouTube videos, I try and like find girls that I think look kind of like me and just like see like what things look like on them, or like how their skin looks after.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking for like people who look like me doing their skincare reviews on YouTube, rather than like, well, sometimes I'm like, oh, Camila Mendes, like we kind of have the same skin.
Yeah, or like lip gloss. Like I remember I wanted to get like the Glossier like tinted like lip balm, and I was like, well, I don't know, like my lips are darker, so it may just look clear on me. I don't know. So I spent a long time like going through YouTube trying to find somebody like who looked kind of like me who used it, and eventually I got there. But okay. So my last question for you is, what's the best skincare advice you've ever gotten?
What's the best skincare advice I've ever gotten? Sunscreen. For sure. Which thank you. I found a facialist that I really, really love in DC. And she just reminds me every single time I go that sunscreen is just the biggest key to changing your skin. And I have been so cavalier about it because I'm like, I'm tan. I don't need it as much as other people need it. Like, I'm going to be young forever and my skin is never going to feel the effects of the sun. But I also love the sun more than anyone. On a good summer day, I want to be out there. And I remember watching this video with Jennifer Garner. She was like giving a commencement address and she was like, nothing makes your skin look as good in your 50s like sunscreen in your 20s. And now I just kind of keep reminding myself of that every time I go outside and try and enjoy the sun, because I am too cocky about how tan I am sometimes, and I can still burn on my face and I always think I can. And then I'm like, oh my God, why do my cheeks hurt? So I'm working on it.
That is such good advice, because I recently read some article that was like, Jennifer Garner's 48, but she looks like she's like in her early 30s.
I know.
And I was like, I truly did not realize she was that old. I mean, that's not old. I'm just saying, like, she doesn't look that old.
No, I feel you though. I'm like, well, okay, if I want to look like this when I'm in my 40s, gotta start using my Neutrogena sunscreen now.
Yeah. I am the same way. Like, I didn't ever really burn as a kid. So I was like, oh, I'm invincible.
I know.
And then I was on a work trip and I stopped over at a beach on the way back last January, I guess like a year and a half ago. And I was like, I've got one day of rest. I'm going to just wear no sunblock. And I got my entire body just burnt. Literally, I've never experienced that in my life, and I never want to experience that again.
I know. And I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but like sometimes maybe we don't like burn, so to speak, but like our skin gets like super tan and like it's just like it stings a little bit sometimes. At least that's how I've like experienced it sometimes. And I remember going to Miami with my cousins, and they are both just as tan as I am, but they were like coating themselves in sunscreen, and I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, we're in Miami, like I want to get tan. And my lips got so sunburnt that it was so bad. Like I could barely eat. They were so swollen, and it was so rough. So yeah, I feel like sunscreen is like more necessary for us than I was willing to admit before.
Yeah. No, I think that's such a good point, because I think people always assume like sunburn is just like pink.
Yeah.
But it really does depend on your skin tone. Like the same way when my pimples go away, but I've got the marks, like they're darker than, you know, someone with paler skin would be. So like same thing, like my sunburn I was initially totally red, but the next morning I was just like really dark. So it didn't necessarily look like I was sunburnt, but I knew my skin was very much peeling. So
Yeah. And that's actually really interesting because I've struggled with this a lot because for me, like if you look at certain products and what they're supposed to help you with, like a lot of times it'll say like redness/scarring, and then there will be like another bullet point that's like dark spots, but it might not necessarily be the same product. And so I've always really struggled with knowing what to buy for my skin tone because I'm like, well, I don't know if this is like considered a dark spot or if this is considered scarring, because I don't end up with these like red, acne marks. I don't end up with these like deep set scars. I end up with like little brown spots all over my face that are scarring to me, but just don't necessarily function the same way as it probably would on somebody who is more fair than I am. And so I've always really struggled with like knowing exactly what to buy for that problem because they make it kind of tough sometimes.
whoa, okay, I never actually thought about that. I was just like, oh, this is dark spots. But actually now that you say that, that actually makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
So what do you usually look like for those like acne spots? Are you going more for the dark spot or for the redness? Or
I honestly do it interchangeably because I'm like, to me, I just don't, I still haven't found a clear answer on what product is going to be effective for that problem for me, because for me it's scarring, but they're dark spots, and it's just not the same problem for everyone. So I usually tend to stick in like the vitamin C serum kind of area to deal with those problems. And what I like about the face mask I was telling you about, the hydrating one, is that I think there is some vitamin C element in it that's supposed to help fade those marks, but it's just different. And I think for people who have, cystic acne, I think scarring means something a little bit more about the texture of their skin, more so than like discoloration. But it's just been really kind of tough to figure out which products are going to help on skin with a little bit more melanin, because I don't have these, like red, acne marks that I think fair people do. And I think a lot of those products are marketed towards those fair skin problems.
And probably also developed for more fair tones.
Yeah, because there probably is a question of effectiveness on tanner skin than on lighter skin.
That really makes me think. I really need to go and look through my skincare and make sure that I'm using the right stuff. Because I just kind of was like, oh, of course it's this. I know.
I still don't know if I'm using the right stuff. Like I said, I just play around, and if it doesn't work after 10 days, then I move on, which kind of seems wasteful. But I do feel like there is a wastefulness about skincare that's like, you have to buy products in these quantities, and if they don't work, then you're just kind of left with a lot left. So I've been trying to buy what I like, that The Ordinary comes in these kind of small bottles. I feel less wasteful than if I don't know, buy like a whole tub of lotion and I'm like, this just did not work.
Yeah. And you I was again on TikTok, I saw like what like beauty stores do with the returns, and they basically just like empty the bottle, like break it in half.
Because you can't sell it after somebody uses it.
Yeah.
So sad.
It's a wasteful industry, but I guess it's like you have to learn what's best for your skin.
Yeah. I think that's like probably the key to like being less wasteful, is actually figuring out what works for you, because then you're going to use it.